Every good paint project begins impulsively.
Wow, that looks very dark.
I don't exactly know what I'm doing. Guys, look at this. See, you don't need a toolbox, you just need some lip liner, sewing scissors, and a nail file. You're good. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another vlog. I am impulsively thinking of painting my bathroom today because every good paint project begins impulsively. I've been mulling over Benjamin Moore samples all morning. I keep coming back to wanting this really nice, like, smoky mauve, dusty rose, sort of somewhere in that family color somewhere. Originally, before I painted my bedroom, that's kind of the direction I wanted to go, but I thought it would be a little bit too feminine. And so I think I want to try to apply that to a bit of a smaller space, so I might try that in my bathroom. A lot of times I do like to be pretty specific about paint, but honestly, right now, I just don't want to pay for paint. I have so much paint, like little half cans and stuff, that I think I can mix something. Every time I'm trying to pick a paint color, I just grab so many samples. So I've started basically creating like my own little fan decks, which is great because they're all perfectly to my taste. Okay, so I have this light purple that's about half full. I'm going to use that as the base. And then I have this Algonquin Fusion paint that I'm going to try to make it a little bit dustier with. And I also have these two little Pharaoh and Ball samples that are these nice like burgundy colors. I think that could add some depth. And then I have a whole bunch of folk art paint if I need to keep darkening it up. I'm going to add some red and maybe brown. Also, tell me why I painted my nails right before I decided to paint. That was the dumbest decision ever. So I have been mixing away and I think I've come up with something that I like. I'm going out to run some errands, but I thought what I would do is paint a little sample on the wall so that it's dry by the time I get back and I can see how I like the color. My bathroom doesn't get a lot of light at all. So this is actually gonna look quite moody, I think. I will link the bathroom tour that I posted almost a year ago now down below if you want to see more details. What didn't really show in the tour was that this stamping does not continue up here, and previously there was a little medicine cabinet there. I got rid of that and there was this hole of the stamping, and so I thought I either need to go through all the effort of stamping just that and finishing this, or I could spend like equal amount of time just repainting my bathroom and trying out a new color. So that's exactly why this whole thing came to be. Okay, the state of the bathroom right now is very crazy. Here's a look at what the color is looking like. You really can't see this very well. Let's see in natural light. You can see a bit of the tone better. It's just not showing up very nicely. From my studio makeover that I'm doing, I found these pieces of like composite trim or whatever, like this decorative trim. It's not wood, it's just like a plastic sort of composite, or paper even, I don't know what this is, like styrofoam kind of. So I used what I needed for that room. I have these two pieces left over though, and they're pretty long. They're about like I don't know, just over 4 feet each, and I don't have that much wall space in my bathroom showing, so I thought I could possibly fashion these onto the walls and do a little bit of like a decorative chair rail kind of thing. I'm not going to do like a separate color separating them, I don't think, though. I think that's just a little bit much, so I'm trying to think of an application I can use these for, because I think that would look really fun. And I think I can literally just tack them onto the wall with nails. I don't know if that's how you're supposed to do them, but they're like feather light, and when do I ever do things the way you're supposed to do them? I'm gonna play around with different heights to put these at and see what that looks like, but I'm really liking this idea. This is getting me very excited. Okay, so I put my mirror up just to see what that's gonna look like, and I think I might go with somewhere around there. I think that's gonna look cool. I could be totally wrong. It might just look makeshift, but I think I'm gonna do it. I have tape measure. Yep, hammer, level, and a big old saw. I'm gonna measure from the corner of the wall to where it begins to be concealed behind the mirror, so that I can cut one of these pieces in half and have one piece there, one piece there, and then on this wall there's only about maybe 3 feet between the door frame here and the corner, so then if I can mirror that same detail on this wall, perfect. I think I'll have just enough to do all of that. So I'm gonna start measuring and see if this is gonna work. I think this idea is coming together. Hopefully these are gonna be easy to cut apart. See, this is when I think that DIYs are absolutely meant to be, because this piece of trim that I have, the bigger one, is 46 inches. The piece that I need for this half is 25.5 inches. The piece that I need for this half is 20.5 inches, which is exactly 46 inches. So I'm taking that as a sign that this is gonna look good. That's my DIY logic, and I'm sticking to it. So now I'm gonna cut this. Let's see if I can do it straight. Sticking with the theme of being an extremely makeshift project, I'm just gonna mark my measurements with a lip liner because it's what I have sitting right here in my bathroom. So we have our measurements there. Now, I don't exactly know what I'm doing. Oh God. How do you cut this? Let's see if scissors. It doesn't. Oh, but I can mark. Oh, wait. Oh my gosh, you guys, look at this. Okay, so it's a good thing that we have a little bit of extra to work with, because obviously that looks like I took a bite out of this. But we'll just put that part behind the mirror, it's fine. The other sides of this thing happen to be kind of straight, sort of. You know what I might actually try? What if I had a nail file? This side is not like 100% straight, so I'm gonna actually just try to file it with a nail file. And you know, I could use sandpaper. I guess that's kind of the nail file of the building world. But this is actually working. See, you don't need a toolbox, you just need some lip liner, sewing scissors, and a nail file. You're good. If any sewists are freaking out, those are old sewing scissors that I don't use for sewing anymore. Do not panic. Honestly, there's just gonna be a little divot out of it, and I think that's fine. So I've just tacked one nail halfway in there, just so that I can still move it around and use the level to make sure that it's straight and that I like the measurement and everything. This isn't dry yet, obviously, but just look at the detail that that's gonna add. And then you can see this is where it like butts up against the window. So I'm gonna hang curtains here just to like this mark. So I think that's all gonna look really nice, like layered up. Okay, day 3 of the bathroom makeover. I want everyone to keep in mind that I have not left my house to go and buy something once this entire process. And that is partly to do with the fact that, yes, we save a lot of paints and supplies and buy cool, funky things that we don't have a use for when we see them, so that when we want to do a project, we have everything we might need when the inspiration strikes. However, I hope this is encouraging that you don't need to go and spend money and waste resources and just be mindlessly going out and replacing things all the time when you need a little bit of a new, fresh feel in your space. So yesterday we walked through putting up the trim on the walls, which looks so good. I'm so glad I did that. Now today I'm going to be working on a little window treatment. I've been wanting to put curtains in here for a really long time. I couldn't decide on a fabric when I had my previous walls, but now that I have the walls just a solid color, and especially now that they're dark, I went fishing through my sewing supplies and I pulled out these pillowcases that I made years ago. So I thrifted this really pretty cotton sheet that has this gorgeous green little emblem on it, and I made them into very oversized pillowcases. I'm not sure that they would fully get to shine the way that I want them to using them as pillowcases, because I just really love seeing this fabric. And so I'm going to use them as curtains. I'm not going to do anything to them. I'm literally just going to leave them as is with this beautiful trim on the bottom. So they're just going to be put on rings, which I have a bag of these kind of like a nickel finish ring. These I think my mom thrifted. They were $3. It's a bag of 15 of them. These metal rings are very expensive if you don't have, you know, a budget to just be continuously spending on little design details like this. So again, when you see something like this at the thrift store, pick it up for when you might need it. So on that subject, a while ago I picked up these beautiful brass somethings. They are some sort of fitting. I'm not exactly sure. Obviously they would make a really great like curtain rod bracket or whatever you call it. I had a plain white curtain rod that I planned on doing a little DIY with to get a brass finish like this. I worked on spraying that this morning and it ended up looking just so cheesy and not right. So then I thought, okay, maybe a wooden dowel, maybe I'll just paint it. But in the spirit of not having money or patience, I thought, I don't want to run out to the hardware store and I don't want to spend money. I'm just going to cut something from the yard, a tree branch. That will look very cool. So I cut a branch of white pine to the length that I needed. I walked around the yard thinking what would smell the best in my bathroom, and of course white pine, because the sap is like fully running right now. I just wiped down the sap and then I actually took a little cloth and oiled this with some orange oil that we have, and so this stick smells like Christmas. It smells like pine and orange, and I think it's gonna fill my bathroom with that scent. So you know what, guys, it's in the little details. And again, I just want to really reiterate, if you do not have money, because believe me, I do not have money, you don't have to be left out of design. Like, it is so much more fun when you release all of the like shame and feelings that you might have about not having money and not being able to implement like your dream ideas. Once you let go of all of that and you just look around and start getting scrappy and using whatever you can for free, it's so much more fun than just being able to go to a store and point at whatever you want and have it arrive at your house the next day. This is going to give you a look that nobody else can have because it came from you and your ideas and your resourcefulness, and it's going to look different for everybody, and that's why it's so much fun. So I now have a stick rod in my bathroom with these little things that I thrifted for $4, and I have no idea where I would get replicas of these. I think they would probably cost a bajillion dollars. I don't have brass screws, so I'm going to put these silver ones in and just mark them with a gold marker. And there we go. I think it's going to be a gorgeous window treatment. Let's get started. Okay, that took way too much coordination with the drill to film this at the same time, but I did it. I think this is gonna look so cute. I am so happy with how this room turned out. I think this is absolutely my favorite iteration of decor that I've ever had in here. I feel like I've just continued to keep refining it as I kind of learn more about my own style, and I am obsessed. The wall color ended up being way darker than what I had originally intended, but I'm actually really glad that it did. I love the look, especially because this is my bedroom door here. When this door is open and I'm looking in the mirror here, to be able to see the purple and then the dark green of my bedroom together with the brown woodwork, I am just absolutely loving that combo. I think I'm learning that I am really more comfortable and just feel more grounded in really dark, moody colors. I really like the contrast of a few pops of stark white against that, as opposed to the other way around with a lot of light with more moody accents. I am all about just the maximum amount of moodiness. I'm loving this color, especially behind me where this shower area is. I don't know if I explained it in this video, but if you don't know, behind this curtain here is my shower. You can't even see it. This color added into that area. I had previously had it painted in my bedroom color just because I had some left over, but changing it to this purple just dropped it down even more, and now that area 100% feels like it disappeared, and I absolutely love that because my shower is super ugly. The trim was just that little detail that put this color over the edge. I loved the really intense amount of detail that the stamping had on the walls previously, so I knew that if I painted it something solid, I needed a little something extra just to make it more sumptuous. I think that the trim definitely did that. It was so easy to install and so like minimal effect on the walls. There's literally 3 very tiny finishing nail holes in each piece of trim. This was so easy. I didn't even do it how you probably should properly do it, but because the trim is just so light, you don't need any structural integrity, so it's super simple to install. You don't need any power tools, just like a pair of powerful scissors or an X-Acto knife and some sandpaper. And then finally, I just am so obsessed with my curtains. I think they're so charming. I've been wanting to use this fabric for so long, and I'm just so happy with the way it turned out. It was so minimal effort, and just because I had all of the materials that I needed, I didn't know how they were going to come together, but somehow everything I've saved over the past few years came in handy, and I'm really pleased with the effect. The branch was very soft because it is white pine, so that's not a very sturdy wood at all. And so I did find that the rings were very heavy and they were kind of warping the branch a little bit so that it was kind of dipping down in the middle. And so I just secured a piece of jute. I try not to put any holes in the woodwork that's original to the house, but there already was a hole in the very center right above these, so I just screwed in a little hook right into that existing hole and tied a piece of jute up there just to straighten out the branch, and now there isn't as much pressure on the bracket things either, which is really nice because I did not install them probably the way you should. And so that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed following along with these DIYs and it gave you some inspiration. Immediately after this, I'm going to be filming an entire detailed tour of my bathroom. So I did one of these last year, and a big thing people were saying was to please show more of the bathroom and not just the details. Because this is such a small space, that is a little bit difficult, but I'm gonna try to make this one even more detailed than the last, and it will include all of the DIYs that we did in this video. So stay tuned for that. If you wanna know when I post that, then make sure you subscribe down below so that you don't miss it and don't miss any of my upcoming home decor videos. I really hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you back here next time.